Welcome back to CSEC English Made Easy. Today we are doing paper one practice, and in particular we are looking at antonyms. Now, if you look at the instructions that are given, you will notice that the word antonyms is not there. However, because we know that when we're looking at opposite in meaning, we are looking at antonyms. Therefore, the entire activity is identifying antonyms, right? So let us read the instructions. Choose the word or phrase that is most, look at that word, most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word or words. Mark your choice on the answer sheet. Now, just a reminder that paper one is multiple choice, as you can see, and you are given an multiple choice sheet to complete, and this sheet is marked electronically. All right, so let's get into the question. Every effort was made to avert the chance of failure. Now, we don't know the meaning of avert, right? We have never seen this word before. We see it on the exam, and we are not sure what it means. In a number of instances, you can use context clues to arrive at the word meaning. What do I mean when I say context clues? You look at how the word is used in the sentence, you look at the other words surrounding the words in the sentence, and you try to pick up to see what the word means based on how the word is used. So every effort was made to avert the chance of failure. So if every effort was made to avert the chance of failure, I'm going to pretend I don't know what the word avert means. I'm going to say, oh, so they did everything they could do to not fail, right? So I am here now saying or thinking to myself that, oh, the word avert means that they're going to try as much as possible not to fail. That's not the full meaning of the word avert. But if you're reasoning it out on the exam paper, right, it might go something like that. So if I look at my options now, right? A, ensure. B, exclude. C, examine. D, overcome. And remember, I'm looking for the most nearly opposite in meaning. Now, this is what gets students all the time when they're doing antonyms. They oftentimes select the synonyms, a word that is similar in meaning to the word there. So often in the selections, the options that you're given, somewhere in there is a possible synonym that you have to look out for and avoid, because that is not what you are looking for. You're looking for the word that is most nearly opposite. Now, can you identify which word here might be the synonym to avert so that we can, you know, avoid it? Can you also identify the words that are not appropriate, are not the words that would suit in this instance, so you can cross them out? And then after a system of elimination, are you sure of your answer? All right, so I would exclude overcome and examine, right? Because they don't have anything to do with, they're not nearly opposite in my opinion, right? And then I would be left with A and B. And from A and B, remember, every effort was made to exclude the chance of failure. Remember, in trying to select the answer, it is very important that you replace it with the word in the sentence and try and read it to see if it fits, if it's most nearly opposite, right? So if we look at exclude, we might say that exclude is most nearly similar to avert. And so that might not be our answer. That's not our answer. So if we look at ensure, every effort was made to ensure the chance of failure. Remember we said avert means you're trying to avoid failure. So if every effort was made to ensure a chance of failure, it therefore means that you're trying to fail. And so the answer is, where's my, okay, A. Drum roll, please. Okay, A. And so the answer is A. Let me know in the comments if you did identify A. All right, so let's look at the other question. Something to note, it is always important to take a note of the words that are given, because who knows, you might see them again on the exam paper. One word that I've seen several times on the CSEC exam paper is permissiveness, right? So many parents and even some teenagers do not approve of the amount of permissiveness in today's society. Now, you don't know permissiveness, but permissiveness might look like a word that you are familiar with. And if your brain is making the connection and you're saying, oh, permissiveness is similar in my mind to permission, then ding, 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 you are on the right track. So oftentimes, going back to some of the tips that we can use, oftentimes you can use your context clues, you can looking at how the word is used in the sentence, but oftentimes the word might be similar to another word that you know, and based on the word that you know, you're able to identify the meaning of the word. So if permission means, you are allowed to do something, permissiveness means, wow, you are free to do whatever you want, right? And if that is the case, remember, always go back to the instructions, most nearly opposite. So we're looking at what would be the opposite of you're free to do whatever you want, right? And A, restrictiveness, B, competitiveness, C, progressiveness, and D, broad-mindedness. I love these options. So, without a shadow of a doubt, we can almost immediately say that the answer is A, restrictiveness, because this would be the opposite of permissiveness, right? And so that would be your answer. Something else to note, right now, my brain is making a pattern. So the first two answers are A. Sometimes you're doing multiple choice exams and you see a pattern. You might see 3 A's in a row and your brain becomes very alarmed and you're like, that can't be it. But remember, once you are okay with your answer, you know that your answer is correct, ignore the pattern. And don't be like some of my students who say, me missing doubt, I'll select C. No, not around there. All right, next one. She seems to be sensitive to the feelings of others, right? And we are aware of what sensitive to means, and I always encourage you to put it in your own words allow your brain to resonate what the word means based on your own understanding, your own experiences. Try to connect. So sensitive to means that, hey, she is aware of what others are feeling. She might, might be affected. So let's see which one is most nearly opposite, right? So A, unaware of. B, unaffected by. C, uninterested in. And D, undecided about. This question, I will need to do a series of eliminations, right? So off the bat, I am going to eliminate C and D. So unaware, uninterested in, and undecided about, right? So those are out. Then I'm going to look at unaware of and unaffected by. Which one is most nearly opposite? So oftentimes on the CXC exam, you're given two options that are close. They're close to each other. And this is where you have to dive in now and do your critical thinking and your elimination. So she seems to be sensitive to the feelings of others. Is she unaware of the feelings of others, or is she unaffected by the feelings of others? Which of these will be the most appropriate? Now the answer is, drum roll please, A, unaware of the feelings of others. Now this one is pretty close. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, if you think it is B, and if so, why. Next, he was eager to share the news with his friends. Simple one, right? And based on the context of the word eager, we know that, excited, really wanted to, yeah, layman's way. And so let us look at our options. Worried, reluctant, displeased, unavailable. All right? We can, why is it I feel like we're always eliminating C and D in this, but we're eliminating C and D. So if we're left with A and B, A is not appropriate. I should have eliminated A, but just for the exercise, the answer is, without a shadow of a doubt, B, reluctant to. All right, so finally, the president of the Students Association never mentioned the treasurer's integrity. And the word that we're looking at is integrity. Wow. So our options are A, skill, B, loyalty, C, inability, and D, dishonesty. When we think of integrity, what are some of the words that comes to the mind? Is it, first thing that comes to my mind is honest, forthright, but honest, right? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I remember we're looking for the opposite, right? So is it skill? No. Skill is no. Is it loyalty? Loyalty would be not a close synonym, but it might most nearly be similar, right? So that would be automatically out because we're looking at opposite, and it's very important as you're doing antonyms that you keep drilling in your mind. Keep repeating to yourself that, hey, I'm looking for the opposite in meaning. Inability, no. So the option that remains is D, dishonesty. Now that's it for today's video. I am going to link the paper one overview that I would have done previously if you want to get an idea of the layout of the exam paper, or you want to understand what are the different sections of the exam paper. Those videos will be attached. Have a good day, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.